Johnny, do you want to share your screen? And if you're on mute, that's that bloody
Sorry,
mute
guys. I
button.
haven't got mine up on screen, guys.
Okay, that's okay. Does anyone got one on got one up on their screen? Beck up, Bex.
Yeah, I could do one.
Okay.
I just have to do the share screen thing. Is that it?
Yes.
Oh,
Did
did I just do something?
it's okay. You can click on the ABS homework take 3.
Okay.
Just click on that link. Yep, click on that.
Uh,
Yep, click on that. Nice.
okay.
So the template that I gave you for the story is
Jesus Christ.
actually it's actually the template. You can copy that and use that for every single client success story because it's going to give you the framework. So the information in here, what you've done here is Bex says you've set up a little bit about, you've kind of gone for the problem first up, then you've kind of described a bit about Julie, and then the process you went through. So it's kind of like
That quick?
character, sorry, character, problem, outcome. So the outcome is only there's no what you did. So literally is copy paste the
Okay.
template, copy paste the template. So your first words when you speak, and the first words that we'll see on a post if you post it will be, I want to tell you a story about one of my clients.
Okay.
It's actually the clickbait hook, because story is a hook. You know, I use, and I'll share shortly, short story about one of my clients. I actually say those words. So you can say exactly the same until you get, better at telling the stories.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you a story about one of my clients. Her name is Julie. She came in for a massage, and I was looking forward to, so we've got the Anne, right? And I was looking forward to helping her or whatever it might be. But her son had killed himself just 3 weeks earlier. Now it's a huge problem, right?
Yeah.
And then it's uh she was distraught and couldn't sleep. That was the problem of, there's, you can see that there's a lot of problems in there, right? That you could probably tell 5 different stories about Julie
Yeah.
because there's lots of problems. Remember, we're just talking about one problem. So
Yeah.
is the problem that she couldn't talk to anybody? Was the problem that she was distraught and couldn't sleep? And was the problem the shoulder or neck pain? So I can hear that, yes, the fact that her son had killed himself is part of the character, can be part of the characterization, but it's more around the problem. So I want to tell you a story about one of my clients. This client is called Julie. So this lady in her early 40s, based in West Auckland, came in for a massage, and I was excited to show her my healing hands, whatever it might be, right? You can hear that the and is the emotional connectedness that you have with the client. And I was looking forward to helping him. And, something that demonstrates a little bit of what you do. But she had shoulder and neck pain. So this is just but she had shoulder and neck pain. We worked together, and it's like here where you say, she got 12 weekly treatments, an hour long. She was surprised. That's kind of what you did. in the client success story, we don't need to say what we did, just what they got. Can you click see more? Can you click see more
On the Zoom part?
on the
Oh,
screen? Yeah, see
yeah.
more. Cool. Right. So fast forward, right? There you go. So it's like choose an outcome. Less about the 12 weekly treatments. That's not important in the client success story. It's just the so we work together, and now Julie's Julie's got no shoulder and neck pain. She's gone back to work, and she's loving life. So if you want to get rid of your shoulder and neck pain, let's talk. And then you could write another story about Julie and her son killing himself, which is quite a hard story to tell. It would probably just, because it's almost, you're an ear, right? Your listening is the outcome. You almost like you're saying to clients, I can come and ease your pain, but I'm also going to listen to your problems,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to be an ear for you. Okay.
Yeah.
So have another go at telling the Julie shoulder and neck pain problem,
Okay.
and give the solution that just relates to, or the outcome that relates to, the shoulder and neck pain.
Okay.
Cool. If you can stop share.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, Halan still hasn't managed to get the camera working, so she can't share the screen, but perhaps you could talk it, Halan. You could speak it.
I can.
So 3, 2, 1, go.
I want to tell you a story about a client of mine. Oh, no, let's do the other one, the one you've already.
So just hang on.
How do I stop share? I can't seem
So
to. Sorry.
it should say on the thing stop share, a big red button right in the middle of the screen.
Oh,
Just
gotcha, at the top.
move your cursor. Yep.
Got it.
There we go. All right. So Halan from the top.
You will love this story about one of my clients. John owns a food manufacturing company producing tart bases in Manukau. He was going to give away the recipes for his award-winning sweet pastry before he had received the money for his business. But by working with John through the sale, we sold his business for a princely sum without giving away John's intellectual property too early. So if you would like to protect your intellectual property in the business sale, let's chat.
Okay. So what's the problem?
That he was going to give away his recipes before he got the money.
Excellent. And then you also used that in another term, which was a bit of jargon.
Intellectual property. Yep,
Excellent.
okay.
So choose which one you want to tell.
Okay. To give
All
away
right.
the recipes. Yep.
So I think give away the recipe, it's actually more of a problem, right?
Yeah.
And so I got, he was John, he did get pastry bases based in Manukau. You know, that's all you think, but he was going to give away. So it's like, I can hear what Halan's trying to do is trying to put in a little bit of, you know, just to remind you that I'm a business broker.
Yep.
Right? We don't need that.
Okay.
It's kind of like, it's almost imagine that you're telling the story of the person. It's not even about selling his business.
Okay.
You know, it's about protecting his IP and not giving away the recipe basis or the recipes. So I want to tell you a story about it, but I love your start, as I said in the group chat. Thank you for posting it. Was, you know, you'll love this story about one of my clients. I love that. I've never used that. I'm going to steal that, Halan. I love that. So,
Okay.
you'll love the story. John is a baker, whatever it is, makes things, blah 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 blah, from his shop in Manukau. But he was going to give away his recipes. And then you could say, before he sold his business, right? So you can kind of make that right before he sold his business. We worked together and he got a great price for his business, and he didn't have to give away his recipes. So if you want to retain your recipes or your IP, let's talk.
Okay, perfect.
Nice. So you're hearing that we're really, the first part is the character and the setup of where they are. It's just generic stuff. I wouldn't go so, into too much detail around specifically what they were doing. It's just for me, it's placing them. Where do they work? Where do they live? How old are they? Are they a man or a woman? Do they have, from a Dylan's perspective, where is the house? It's, we kind of feels like we need to put more information in there, just 3 basic things. So the people hearing the story can go, oh yeah, I could see that person. We all make that mental picture, right? When we're hearing something we're going, oh yeah, cool, right? Niagara Falls, and they were looking at that, and we've got this picture of the falls, right? And then, but he was about to jump, whatever, right? Excellent. Emma, how are you getting on?
Me, I read that on the paper, and sort of 3 of them, but I can't remember any, and I didn't bring it with me for this meeting, so not very helpful. But I write one that I thought about maybe, yeah.
Cool. All right, you want to go?
Talk
Yep.
about it.
Where you go?
Okay, I want to tell you a story of one of my client, Erica. She just started her new business in Nelson, and they need an accountant to help with end of year financial. I'm looking forward with help her on this business journey, but she didn't last long before she decided to go to Australia. So she was worried about her account. I gave her the advice and what she need to do so she can go to Australia without the stress of unknowing about her business. So if you want to have a stress-free business journey, let's talk.
Okay. How do you think that was after listening to some other people's here in the room?
I think it was quite good.
I don't know. I try to be simple.
Okay, let's break it down. So you nailed the start. I want to tell you a story about one of my clients. Boom, boom. Excellent. So Erica, so it's almost like when we tell the story, it's almost like a pentameter, right? It's like, I want to tell you a story about one of my clients. Stop, breathe. Erica started a business in Nelson, and I was looking forward to help her with her accounts. Right? Maybe you could say what type of business, just to kind of place it even a bit more.
Food.
Remember,
Food.
you can change the facts of
okay.
of the person if they're still there, right? So Erica was her name. She lived in Nelson. She worked in what sort of business?
Food. She's start doing food.
Food, excellent.
Yeah.
And she was running a food business in Nelson.
Yeah.
They're your 3 things. And what was the and? And was it and? As an accountant, I was looking forward to help her with her books, right? That's kind of the.
I find it hard to add end. I don't know what I should put after the end of the time. So I struggle how to make
so how are you feeling? How are you feeling before? This is a feeling. How are you feeling before starting to work with her?
No feeling.
Come on, you're an accountant. I know accountants don't feel.
Well, when you say feeling about working with a client, I don't know.
Well, okay. How are you?
Want to help them? I don't know.
Cool.
Feeling.
Look, it's like, generally speaking, if we put on a generic hat, we'd probably say something like, and I was looking forward to helping them, right? It's very simple. And I was looking forward to helping them, right?
Yeah. It's
Then
just my
what's the
feeling.
what's the one problem that she had?
She just have no idea about tech in New Zealand, like set it
Sure.
up. Mm.
Was it the fact that she moved to Australia? Is that the problem, or the tech?
Tech. I think it's but more about tech. Like she want to go to Australia, so she feels she can make more money.
Okay. So that's actually the problem, isn't it? But she, it's, is the problem that she went to Australia, or is the problem that she didn't understand tech?
For me,
No, for her.
for her, I don't think there's a problem for her to go to Australia.
Cool. So what
She went to Australia before.
so what was the outcome that you?
Oh, the outcome I help her. She was just worried about she want to finish the business, but she doesn't really know the step, what she need to do. So I give her the advice.
What was the step? What do you mean? The step to exit, to finish the business?
Yeah, the step
cool.
what she need to.
There's
we
your
need to
problem.
do. Yeah.
There's your problem. The fact that she was going to Australia doesn't really matter. So it's because you're like picturing she's going to Sydney, and that's where your mind wanders to. So it's like the fact that she's gone doesn't matter. But so the problem is, but she didn't know how to wind down her business. She didn't know the steps to wind down her business.
That's right.
Yeah. And then we work together, and now, so the problem is that you're solving is winding down the business.
I'm helping
Cool.
her winding down, so she doesn't need to worry about.
Yep. Cool. Nice. And then the line, we work together. And where is she now? Obviously, she's in Australia.
Yeah, she's in Australia.
Yeah, of course. So you can say we work together, and now she's in Australia, and her business is all sorted in New Zealand. It's really difficult. Most business owners really want to talk about what they did. It's really hard. I know it's really, really hard, because we just want to say that, what we did for them. In the client success story, it's the one place we don't need to mention what we did for them. It's just about the result. Problem, result. And that's going to be tough for you, Bex, because it's like, it's going to be very feely, right? Because it's like, how do you, your problem will often be associated with the ideals around. So I haven't finished with you, Emma. Just wait. I was just framing it from a Bex, because it's you solve emotional, right? Emma solves functional. I mean, well, for you, Bex, it's emotional and physical.
Yeah.
Emma's is, the functional of, right? So Emma doesn't need to be overtly emotional, because that's what a story does, is, we're giving you the structure of telling an emotional story as best we can, even if it relates to accountants. Look, Emma's up. She's looking at the phone. She's up. She's going.
Oh, it's like we still have emotion when you
Oh,
tell
yes,
client
good,
to pay the
good.
tax.
Good.
They got really emotional. They don't want to. Then they got angry. If you tell them that the IRD have to do that, they got all emotion.
There you
So
go.
they do have emotion, but if you tell them, it's very hard. They want to make money, but they don't want to pay tax. It's mixed emotion. This is exactly happened to Erica. Just didn't say.
There's another.
She got angry because she went to Australia, make some money, and she had to pay more tax. So that's why she got angry in New Zealand. She thinks I have to pay so much tax. I wasn't really making much. So that's why she decided to go.
Yeah. So you can hear there's lots of problems, right? And our job is just to simplify a story problem, a problem around one particular problem that you solved. And then what was that outcome? So for you, Emma, is like, But she wanted to wind down her business. We
That's
worked
right.
together. She worked
Yeah.
together. Now she's in Australia,
She's happy. I
and
hope.
the business is sold. And again, you could see how the story leads into it. It could go and go and go. We just want to be able to tell it in 35 seconds, 40 seconds, and that's it, right? So really, it's a very simple story of I can help people wind down their business. That's what you want to be saying, but you're describing it in the person and their problem. You solved it. So if you want to wind down your business, let's talk.
Could you do one like with that scenario, like on the realities of being in business, like that concept of the getting angry about the realities that you have to pay tax and going to Australia is not going to make that better, it's going to make it worse, or is that too distracting?
Well, because they have higher tax rates in Australia, they Emma.
Yeah, but they got all paid. They now because you combine all the income and New Zealand tax is but low, so she has to pay back. Anyway, it's
So she's
actually
like
it's
running
also
away
doing-
from it, sort of thing, running away.
Yes,
Thinking
yeah,
it's
that's
going to be
her
easier, but
emotion.
it's actually becoming more complicated.
There's another story, right?
It's
But
just
again,
emotion.
you know, there's another story. So the next story structure we're going to dive into is a personal story, right? And that's when you can start sharing things that are on your mind. Like, you know, it's kind of like, I want to tell you a story about Rebecca. What was her name? Emma, what was her name?
Oh, Erica.
Erica. I want to tell you a story about Erica. You know, she set up a business and then she went away to Australia, and then she's even more frustrated because, you know, she's got to pay more tax and got to pay tax on the money that she wind up a business. And it's like, I understand, but it's just crazy. It's like, don't run away from your problems, right? It's kind of it's a personal story told from your perspective rather than the client's perspective.
But if they set out the tax structure properly, then she may not need to pay tax because she doesn't talk to the accountant before, have this planning, and that's what happened. But there's another story about
that's another story. Yeah,
tax planning, all the stuff. But now I just want to be simple. It's like
cool.
I want to focus on stress free. I think my thing is I want to feel like you can be stress free if you come join us. Actually, it's not really stress free, to be honest with you, but yeah, that's all people want to hear.
Okay, so it is Johnny, would you want to share one story? You're on mute.
Just rewritten a new one for you right now, so I'd love to go for it.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Johnny Sanders, go.
I have a lovely story about Vicky and her noisy pipes. Did I say Vicky? I meant to say Sally. Let's get the character right, shall we? Let's start a good start. Sally and the noisy pipes. Sally had several companies attend her property who hadn't really alleviated the rowdy noises. A friend of Sally's recommended Sanders Plumbing, so she called us. We attended the job and Sally was rapt with the result, and she was able to sleep a full night's sleep. So, who else has sleepless nights with plumbing nightmares? Please share our number.
Okay. How do you think that goes in terms of, I'm just going to share my screen and share the this thing, right? So I want to tell you a story about one of my clients is generally where we need to start. This client, so it's, I can see that because this is what Johnny does. He's very good with words. You're very good with words, and you're very emotionally connected with those words. I'm just going to give you the structure first, and then follow the structure, and then you can play with it. So overall, it was great. What was this something to do with pipes?
Noisy pipes.
Cool. So this client, so Sally, where did Sally live?
In Auckland.
We're about to give away a little bit of something. Come on.
The leafy suburbs.
In the leafy suburb of where?
Parnell.
Parnell, nice. And how big was the house? just to give a sense of, was it an apartment? Was it a 4-bedroom house?
No,
Was
I made it up, so we'll go with a moderate.
it?
Noisy pipes is the song.
Okay. So again, structure is this client, her name was Sally. She lived in Parnell and she had a 4-bedroom home, but she had leaky pipes,
Noisy.
right? Or noisy pipes. Just break it down, but she had noisy pipes. And it's like, I can see that you're getting the little plug for Sanders Plumbing in there. Don't really need it, but I hear you. I hear you. It's like, oh, I've got to get my brand out there. I've got to get my brand out there.
It's brand focus, brand focus.
It's not brand focus, it's story focus.
It's not brand focus.
It's about the person, not about Sanders Plumbing. It's about the person and their problem. So we work together, and now there is no noise coming from her 4-bedroom mansion in Parnell, and she is sleeping well at night. So if you want to sleep well at night from your noisy pipes, talk to me.
I guess I'm now hearing other people's stories. I'm beginning to really understand. We have to remember that these stories will be going on social media. And I mean, it's just dawning on me now, and I'm just verbalizing what I've just realized is because these stories are going onto social media, and social media is all about interaction, about people engaging with us.
Mm-hmm.
So these stories, when we put them in our profiles or pages or whatever on our accounts, and people will tend to click on them, comment below. I've got noisy pipes too. So it's not really getting, so tell me if I'm correct, John. This is more of the long game. We're getting them to engage with us and tell us their stories as well underneath that, oh yeah, noisy pipes are terrible, da, 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 da. And people will be
well, hopefully,
Yeah.
remember, social media is just social, right? So you put some stuff up there, but it's like if you're not putting up stuff that frames the journey that clients go on, and a client success story is, it's really all we're saying is we know what we're talking about, right? That's
Yeah.
all we're doing. We're just saying that we get this result. As an example, here's a client with this problem. They don't have the problem anymore.
Yeah.
All right. So now that you say that, this week is about taking action, because I just happened to, Dina, have the social media page ready to go. So this will be available as a download. And I like to start with a quote about the lovely Maya Angelou. She's my favorite. And it's like, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. So once you have your stories, you've at least got one, right? You've got at least one. Now we need to tell the world. So obviously, I've had my little 45-minute session with everybody except Emma. So we'll be having a chat next Monday. I've seen that you've booked in your calendar. So don't worry, we'll have a bit of a chat around that. So, thinking about your social media channels, think about the channels that you wrote down in your attack plan. Be it Google My Business, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those social media places, emails, another place, groups, Facebook groups, all that stuff. Neighborly, I don't know enough about Neighborly, Bex, but you can allude on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all we want to do. This is going to be the challenging bit. Just copy all the words and don't add anything more to the story. Johnny, I can see you.
We have access to that draft, so I can maybe print some and then add the story in between. Not that one, the ASB.
ABS.
ABS.
Oh, ABS, sorry, not the ASB Bank. ABS breaks. Yes.
So I'm not sure of your question.
Oh, just if you scroll back to where you were before, on the page up
the story structure.
Yes, the template. So we can get that on the school.
You can get that on school on the
Okay.
first session. There is available as a template. You can download it.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Thank you.
Cool. And you're about to, obviously, it normally takes Zoom about 2 hours to process the recorded video. So you'll be able to watch the replay minus that bit at the start, but that's
And
okay.
we're on YouTube now.
Well, I'm just putting it on YouTube as a
Yeah,
storage
cool.
location, but yeah, it's just a recording.
Nice.
But you can do that. You can watch that in school. So yeah, you can download this template. You know, it's like, okay, well, we need to post our stories, right? Now, ideally, we need to post. So as an example, now I've done, actually, this one is, you can see the screen here. This was Kenny Chen in Johnny's BNI chapter. It was actually a video testimonial, but I used a story before it. And I said, clients getting confidence. Wahoo. This video features my client, Kenny, who's an ambitious young acupuncturist based in Remuera, and I was excited to see his authentic personality come out in his stories. But he said more than he needed, getting caught in the context trap. We worked together, and now he's confident in telling stories that his clients and prospects love. So if you want to connect on a deeper level with your clients using short stories, we should chat.
So I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So when we do our stories,
So
it's
what
not
we're
about
going
the
to
brand,
do is show you how to use BNI.
it's about the person. But there you're doing the brand because your brand is storytelling, right?
Say again?
So you said it's about the person, like Kenny, and
Yep.
nothing to do with the brand, like not the brand, not to come through as a business broker that you sold the business, all that sort of stuff. But there, that's kind of what you're doing. It's saying that you are a storyteller and you're selling yourself as training someone to tell stories.
No,
No, okay.
no. I mean, again, it's kind of like, obviously it's a client success story told by me. And yes, I help people connect on a deeper level, or I could have chosen. So if you want to be confident, when you show up online, then we should chat, right? I could have done that one. So it's not really story related. It can be, but it's not a, I think a lot of people jump in that thing of going, so you can hear that story, now call me. You know, we're just trying to mention the things that we, now again, perhaps it's not a great example because it mentions, was I congruent with the problem, but he said more than he needed. He's good at telling short stories. If you want to connect on a deeper level, I probably could have said, so, you know, if you want to get more for less, then let's talk. It would have been congruent with the problem. Anyway, I just want to rip through this one. So copy the story, post it with a picture of you. I think I asked all of you, do you have some photography? If you don't have any photography, we're going to cover that off in a second. Johnny, are you doing the leadership team training on BNI? Are you? You are. I know you are.
No, I'm not.
It is you. Oh, it's the, no, you're doing the you're
I
doing
jumped into our
the MSP training.
No, I just jumped into our little thing from the other day accidentally. I clicked on the wrong part of our session. So whoops.
Cool. So post a picture of you once a week on your online channels. Now this will be available to download in obviously a few hours. You know, for LinkedIn, share it on your personal page rather than your company page. It is about personal, but it's you know, it's company pages, unless you've got 5 million followers, don't get any engagement. Personal pages do. Then from a photography standpoint, we need to get some photos of you. You know, I use it like people by people and drive an emotional connection between the reader and the listener for the person telling the story. So you're the one getting the results. So there need to be pictures of you on your profile. So, and, you know, shot horizontally. So ideally this way on your mobile phone. We don't need to have commercial photography. You can, you know, I have commercial photography, but you don't even need to look at the camera, right? Get your partner or friend, take a few photos of you, head and shoulders, some smiling, some not, and you have a vault of at least 10 messages, 10, right? Here's some examples, right? I just stole from LinkedIn. And, you know, they don't have to be looking at the camera. There's just you in a cafe, you out walking, you with your, you know, if you've got branded gear, wear it, but it's not so much about the branded gear, but it's, you know, just a little bit of, yeah, that's Sanders Plumbing. Yeah, very, very famous in Glen Innes. Yeah. Cool. So, but obviously the photos goes with the story, right? Because people are stopped by the photo and go, oh, I know that person. I'm going to read their story. You can schedule your posts. You can schedule your posts. There are some free tools. I won't go into too much detail, but I use something called Poobla. There's the link on the page, and you can schedule posts to go out. And you know, it doesn't mean for you really matter what time they go out. They just want to go out. We can work on those things later on. So, oh, there's an example of a story about another real estate agent client of mine. You better read that one. Can I go a bit bigger? Yeah, there we go. Short story about one of my clients. He's a real estate agent, mid-30s, based on the North Shore, and I was looking forward to see him shine authentically online. But only talked about the business of real estate. We work together now. He's got his own story that shows his true self, and he's opened doors to a whole new audience. So if you want to connect to a whole new audience, let's talk. Down, John. No, down. That's up. Oh, golly. All right. So from an in-person perspective, right? If you're going to, when we talked about some of those places where you might go, so obviously everyone's in BNI in this space, tell your story in BNI. And literally, I won't get in an argument if you need to say, I'm Johnny from Sanders Plumbing. I'm not at the start, but you don't need to. We don't have to give it all away at the start. You know, I want to tell you a story about one of my clients. That's enough of a hook. And then, as we've discussed with everybody, except the lovely Emma, is having that asking for the introduction, which we'll cover off Emma on Monday when we chat. All right. So I'll make this available as a download. Really, it's just about sharing them. It's about sharing those stories. And if you can, I was going to say, if you on LinkedIn or Facebook, Instagram, you can tag me in the comment section. I'm not really on Instagram, but you know, it's just like we want to be able to see you post these stories. Got to get them out there. So the other thing I would like to request as well, I clearly wasn't clear enough in my request in the school group where I said social roll call was for you guys to put your social links so everybody else can connect with you. Oh, hi, Mr. Sinisa. Oh, no, it's fine. We just, yeah. Yeah. So the idea is put your social links in there so everybody else can follow and keep everyone else accountable as well. If you want to, you don't have to, you can be very private, but telling stories isn't always about being private, is it? So put your social links into that school post, just comment in it, and so then other people can connect with you on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever you might be, or Twitter. We haven't talked about much of that. And then write another story, right? Write another story, and we'll do a little bit of review next week on that before we jump into the personal story structure. All right? Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I just have one about when you're doing storytelling on LinkedIn, gender-wise, is it just as equally attractive for men as it is for women? Do you know? Like when people are looking at stories, is it sort of just appeals to everybody? It does? Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's like I always kind of break it down into, if you were doing a keynote speech, like a 45-minute keynote.
Yeah.
You frame you frame your keynote around thoughts or ideas, right? And each idea needs to be told 4 different ways. First one, this is we break it down into personality types. So, or left brain thinkers and right brain thinkers. So for the left brain thinkers, the logical, that's the Emmas, probably maybe a Dina, because you're a bit analytical in that space, right? Whereas Johnny, I think Johnny and Rebecca are right brain thinkers. And this is just, you understand where people sit, right? But in the audience, you don't know who they are and where they are, right? You don't know them. You're doing a keynote. So for the left brain thinkers, we need to communicate sometimes in graphs or charts, because they get the visual representation of a graph, and then we need to deliver a case study around that particular point. And then for the right brain thinkers, we need to communicate a metaphor and a story, because right brain thinkers can understand the metaphor around that idea, and then they'll understand the story. So really what we're trying to do is we're trying to connect to the right brain thinkers particularly, but universally everybody can understand stories, because we're just
Yep.
so engaged with them in every area of our life.
Good.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Cool.
And it's
John?
interesting, thanks.
Yes, Dina.
You said on LinkedIn to put the stories in our personal profile rather than the page. Is that the same for Facebook?
So look, it's going to make it entirely up to you whether you want to share a personal story, you want to share a client success story on your personal Facebook page. At the end of the day, those people already trust you, right? They're
Yes,
already
yeah.
friends. Now, in
Yeah.
my case, I've got 2,500 Facebook friends. I don't know them all, but I know most of them. The people who are commenting, but I've been putting other stories with a call to action on there. So again, it's like, it's a personal preference. At the end of the day, those people on Facebook probably are elements of business, personal, you might add clients, past clients, but ultimately there's already an element of trust established on personal Facebook.
Yeah.
So,
No, I was just wondering whether we should post it also on the business page, Facebook business page. But then on LinkedIn, you said
the
not
best way
to-
forward,
Mhm.
post the same story everywhere.
Anywhere, everywhere.
Anywhere and everywhere. Again, up to you. I know Bex had I don't really use personal Facebook, so yours is going to go on your business page, obviously, right? But business pages have a lot less engagement than personal pages.
Yeah.
It's just there's more reach in a personal Facebook.
Yeah, but it wouldn't hurt. So I mean, if you put them everywhere, it
Put them
wouldn't
everywhere.
hurt, would it? Yeah.
Put them everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we come back to those goals, and most people's goals are, I want to make more money. I want to make more connection, right?
I want to be seen.
I want to be seen. I want people to know that I that I deliver results. We're not asking you always to do a client success story every single day on personal Facebook.
Yeah.
We're not, it still needs to have a balance, right? It can't all be work. So even when we're, want to make mention of content as it relates to the different elements of content. So there's some, I deliver results. There's some education. We need to demonstrate that we know what we're talking about, that it doesn't have a call to action, doesn't mention our clients. It just says, I know what you're talking about. If you've got this problem, you need to go and do this, right?
So you're saying it's, because I'm going to set up a Facebook page, better to transition my Facebook page into a hybrid personal and work one?
For you personally, I think a lot of registered agents are just using their personal pages.
Yeah, okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's, there's people with homes, right? So long as there's a balance, Dylan, it's like, I want to see on a Saturday post, there's a picture of you out walking your dog, right? That's just, or I'm so excited, I'm going to Bali for a holiday. I'm, so looking forward to that. And then you get a client success story, or it's a image of a listing you've got, right? So I think particularly for real estate agents, given that everyone has a home, I don't think you need a business Facebook page. Personally, it's just another thing to grow. But again, up to you. Up to you. It's probably, if you're going to run ads at all, Dylan, you're going to need to have a business page.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't also do it on the personal page, which probably has better native reach to people with homes.
Yeah. At the end of the day, and that, as I said, those people already, there's an element of trust there, right? They already know you. And, you know, do they know that you're a real estate agent? Probably. So the occasional post about you doing real estate, or, you know, I'm just so proud of this client story, is people going, oh, it's good on you, Dylan. I think most friends would be like that.
Yeah. It's it also puts you a bit front of mind. I've had a couple of friends say, "Oh yeah, my neighbor did that, but I forgot that." Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
So, you know, I've been posting stories, but anecdotal stories. I posted a story of me getting almost mugged in West Auckland on Friday night on my personal Facebook page, and I didn't have a business call to action for it. I was just going to tell a story.
Yeah. Okay.
But tomorrow's story will have a call to action on it, because I'm just, you know, I'm also clear that my challenge isn't so much telling stories; it's asking for business in a personal Facebook page. And I'm like going, fuck it, I'm just gonna do that, right? I'm not on Facebook to why are we there on Facebook in the first place? Are we there because we want to catch up with all these different people? And to some degree, yes. But Facebook for me is about, you know, business and catching up with people. So I'm posting a few asks, and it's working. It works.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue with any sales in any industry, asking for the business.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So, you know, and it's like you're proud of it. It's work is part of you. Work is part of you. So homework, I'm going to send through the values exercise, and I'm just going to quickly share my screen and show you what that is all about, because it can be a little bit convoluted for left brain thinkers. I didn't say that. And it's just on my website. Oh, who's that good looking guy? Boran. All right. So this exercise is what I call your brand voice, or how to be clear that you are. Now, Emma, you might have already done this because we did a bit of story work before, right? So you're exempt. You're okay. And it's an exercise to understand, what are our values? What do we stand for? What type of person am I? And you can literally, there's some information on here, and you're not going to do the exercise yourself. You're going to send it to 5 people. Now, Halan, I think we might have done this before as well. I'm not sure. Anyway, we're going to ask our friends, our best friends, because intrinsically who we are as a people haven't changed since we were 15, right? So we're going to ask 5 friends to tell us who they are. And there's some words on the page, and they're going to go through and they're going to choose 3 to 5 words that best describe Johnny Sanders. I mean, I already know what I'm going to say, right? You know, practical, genuine, and I'd probably say competitive. Yeah, right. That's it, right? That's what I know of you. So all we want to do here is we want to get your friends to fill in, you know, Johnny Sanders, Jonathan at sandersplumbing.co.nz. They're going to put in their name, and they're going to write their top 3 values that best describe Johnny. And there's basic instructions basically to say, don't send it to, generally speaking, family, because sometimes family can have a little bit of bias, especially husbands or wives, because they can go, if I'm not, you know, if Johnny hasn't put the rubbish out, then it's like he's a lazy prick. Yeah. Yeah. You hear what I mean? So it's more about the 5 best friends that you've known for a long time. They love you, and they will happily do the exercise. And then I'm going to send you that link, and we'll give you a little thing of what to say. So you can just copy that, put it into a text message and say, hey, Rebecca, I'm doing some content coaching and some storytelling. Can you do this exercise? It'll take 2 minutes on my top values. And they can follow the instructions and go from there. And then I'll send you the results. And then you can look at, the idea is you're going to look at the results, and you're going to, okay, well, I've got the data. what are people saying, and then you can choose your top 3. And then I would say from a writing standpoint is when you're writing, honor those values. It's a good exercise for me as a coach to say, are you honoring the values? More for real estate agents particularly. It's like, are they being true to their true values, not how I think, yes, Dylan, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? When you see real estate agents sitting in front of the Lamborghini with the Italian suit on, and then they're driving a shitty old Volkswagen, it's like that's an inauthentic, right? It's completely.
Mm.
Yeah,
Anyway.
super common in our industry. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, good point. We just want you to be you. This is an exercise. We want you to be authentic. All right, we're going to love you and leave you for today. Any questions? Nice. Well, thank you again for all
Thanks,
of your
John.
thing. Don't forget to add the. I'll send you that email with the homework, and we'll see you next Monday, next Wednesday. If I don't see you before then.
Sounds good, John. Thank you.
See you, team.
Yeah.